and welcome, welcome, welcome everybody. It is the Sophia Magazine Show and I'm your one and only presenter, Aisha Jara. And always, every time we're having a show, I'll be like, officially sponsored by GRA. Every time you would hear me say it, every time I'm having a program. So guess what? Today I have GRA themselves here to talk about very important topic, rental income tax. But first off, I would like to introduce them. First, we have Mr. Noah Mane, Head of Rental Income Tax, and Mr. Henry Mendy, Head of, Manager of Compliance and Taxpayer. Like I said, today we're basically just going to get into talking about rental income tax. It's a tax that is going to be, people are going to be paying for it from now on. So I don't know, maybe you want to say a little something about yourself apart from what I said, or can we just get into it, right into it?
No, allow him to introduce himself.
Yeah, please.
Thank
Mr.
you.
Noah.
Thank you, Isa. Thank you for that wonderful introduction in the Sophia. What's the Sophia what?
Sophia Magazine
Sophia
Show.
Magazine. So it's a pleasure to have us here today. I think we're trying to turn it to a GRA hour today. Because we the people, the staff from GRA, we are here to talk about GRA, and in particular the rental income tax as a topic. Yes, so I am Noah Mane, a tax manager with GRA Domestic Tax and the head of the rental income tax section.
Okay, thank you, Mr. Noah.
Pleasure.
And then we have on my right, Mr. Henry, please, you can get into.
Good evening, our viewers and esteemed taxpayers in the Gambia and beyond. This is my third or fourth or fifth time coming here. I was here with Babu Karanjai, the general. He's around, but we could not have space to include, but he will come in later. Thank you very much, Aisha, for bringing us here again. We are partners in development. We are here to discuss rental income tax. I would like you to ask as many questions as possible. We are here for you.
Yeah, and so if you're wondering if we're doing this only in English, they're basically here to make sure it's done in different languages. So it's not only going to be in English. And like he rightly said, it's GRA hour. This show today is all about GRA, and we're specifically talking about the rental income tax. Okay, so let's get right into it. To start off simply, what exactly is rental income tax and who is required to pay it in the Gambia?
Yeah, thank you, Isa, for that question. And a very good evening to our listeners, our viewers out there, much more to our taxpayers. This hour is dedicated to you, especially taxpayers on the rental income tax bracket. So we are here to put you through to let you know what the rental income tax is about and how do somebody go about when you want to pay your rental income tax. First, rental income tax by definition is when a property is leased or rented out for an amount. You have a property that you lease out or you rent out and you are receiving something out of it. So by law, section 116 of the Income and the VAT Act, you are mandated to make payment to pay your rental income tax. This is provided in the law, in the Income and the VAT Act 2012.
Okay. All right, so basically you just mentioned the laws. Maybe you can say it in one of two, since I promised our viewers that we'll be talking in different languages here in the Sophia Magazine Show.
Yo, okay, mbadi mandiga kamwelal. Ye nuanyi ni kamina wale mune rental income tax akweko abelualto kalwa minkili IVAT Act, Income and Value Added Tax Act 2012. Ala section of mialongo is 116 abeolto. Olem ni bungol lo o edula soto dinka soto mi alon ko ya lis o wala ya di mol la be sabatrinje be luaso la je fo ni la mol dimbale bi yebam fo ka ke business la ngolti bang yakoto mi soto je nyanda kallu na mo jowolt wala rental income tax. Okay. So mbesa mo nyola make lu akutoti da metal.
Okay, so the required people who are meant to pay it are landlords, right?
Yeah, exactly. So the landlords by law are mandated. It's not all landlords.
Okay.
It's landlords that have rented properties, that are renting part of their buildings or part of their buildings for gain. So those are the ones mandated by law to pay the rental income tax. And the rental income tax comes in two types. we have what we call the commercial rental income tax and the residential income tax. The commercial rental income tax it has to do with commercial properties used for commercial purposes.
Okay.
Like for businesses, for offices, for any other reason that is different from residential, it falls on the commercial rental income. But this doesn't include guest houses, it doesn't include inns, hotels.
Okay.
So it doesn't include such. So because those ones in the law are registered as normal businesses. So it's a different thing.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yo, sanying nuaba ajanyanka da katandi rental income nyanyin kamne olem fo molbele nyanda kanyina mojo kwa ko hani mol mi alon ko ye dulal soto ye luas isela ko soto ma luas oto lua ko te manyen ba ma soto keje ma soto no je man fe soto je oto te nyina mojo la ni a luas ikejo oto nyanda kanamo nyinjo anun sifa fulalem follow olen commercial rental income tax olen yedula soto moya ta ke bank o ake salunoti o ake bitigoti o ake stoti magasino o ake fendoti mi alon ko business ole ka tamaji yo ni wo emi soto je inyanda kajo andum ako ni ajibe hotelol datije ñin nam sifado motelol fonan datije guest houseol datije boarding fenkol datije ani ins kat wol ye registrale comme business o nin karisaba sita nin nielan korosoro ibinala le ajo woni ñim fatatale.
Okay.
So sita fula nyawdo na fom den sa fale fan.
Okay. Abaraka Wake. That was quite, it was quite detailed, so I'm sure everybody would understand.
I think I can go into all of two a little bit.
Yeah, okay, sure.
Suma mbokki déglukat yi ñu dégg olof ngeen baal ma de dégguma olof comme Baboucarr Njie général dina ñëw ci kanam waaye ma jéem rek li njëkk a laajte nuwa mooy lan mooy rental income tax mu ne leen mu ngi ci loi bi ñu tuddee IVAT Act 2012 section 116 mooy nag boo amee béréb kër wala néeg nga lis ko wala nga luwaas ko ñu laa fay war ngaa fay naamo bi mu laajaat ko ne ndaa ñëpp a war a fay naamo bi mu ne ko déedéet ku am béréb te luwaas ko mun ngaa am kër te luwaas loo ko kon amuloo ci dara kenn waru laa feewoo loo kenn kon nguur gi du la feeku waaw soo léegi bu nekkee ne da nga ko luwaas nga ko joxee ñu def ko business den dina nekk commercial rental income tax nga war a fay bu nekkee da nga ko joxee ñi dëkk fa ak seen njaboot kon boobu residential income tax nga war a fay waaw nuwaat dina ubbi waxtaan bi ci kanam mu gën koo xóotal li mu war rek dinaa leen jotali.
Inshallah. Thank you for Abaraka Jerejef, Mr. Henry. Okay, so basically we got into the law. Specifically, you mentioned what is the law or regulation that's empowering the Gambia Revenue Authority to collect this tax. So let's just get into the third question, which will be, how is the rental income tax calculated? Is it based on an annual rental income, property value, or like a flat rate?
Yeah, thank you. Thank you, Isa, for that question. It is important we also clarify that how rental income is calculated. It is not calculated based on property values.
Okay.
I think here the property values are basically used by the councils. So GRA, we are more particular with the rental value. The rental value is how much you're receiving from your property. That is what matters to us.
Okay.
The property value is not of that importance to GRA when it comes to the payment of rental income tax. So, and the other thing is, as I clearly said, the two types of taxes we have, the commercial and the residential, they all have their brackets. So for commercial rental income, the person is obliged to pay 15% of what is received either monthly, quarterly, by 6 months, or yearly. Rent doesn't have a specific time. So you can rent a property and you are receiving your rent monthly. So that one equally you are obliged. You can come to the office on a monthly basis. I know it's not going to be easy. It's hectic. But you can still come to the office on a quarterly basis, every 3 months. You come, you will be given a form, a GRA prescribed form, you fill, you make your declaration, and the rent will be checked for you, and you make your payment. You go with your receipt. Equally, when you are receiving rent yearly, by end of the year, the same filing period with the other tax types, you are given 3 months after the end of the year to come and give your declaration. Otherwise, any late declaration can attract penalty and interest. Yeah, thank you.
All right.
Sa nyimbali manika kamwelal ye nuwa nyini kale nying ka calculate nyadile wala ka bonyo to nyadile njani ba jola ne kodot bunte buloto sanying ite amire be jalle jola ila property nying ala value by ko le jibe bang fo ala dinga be lorin dingiramin to bango aka ko ani wo ma era councilol o natara iba wafula ni awafu den la pro den ala value nying obe important nale barentol ni rental income tax lapta mina wolem ye jalle soto je jo jalle na kare wo kare woro kare saba o kare woro o sango kono kadu dola luaso bole nyam like nim banki ata ke jo sangol dol bi je kare woro ka fole ben jola kare woro na bande jo kare woro sa ite kodo ka nai ka nyaming nyanda kana wala nyama ka jo ni ka kodo muta kare wo karle o de nyanda kana luaso dal isina no fana kare saba yana ya jo na tara sangolem like ka fa ngana dunde buloto loi sembo de kar sango na tara yata December kare saba dila ya jibe na ya jo kana si kadni si de ameta rek lanka woni mbuso be malalde interest and penalty so nga kata nga jo mbokki degul kati ci wolof wala dega kati wolof yi liñ laajte nu am mooy nda li nga rafet ci naamo bi ci valeur yi sa property bi lañ dee seet li nga amee sa kër gi wala place bi lañ dee seet mu ne ko déet ñun li ñu am interest mooy li nga dee fay luwaas bu nekkee banque mu fa nekk liñ la dee fay bu nekkee saloon liñ la dee fay wala ñu fa dégg ak seen njaboot liñ la dee fay waaw li nga jël loolu nga ñëw nga seet bu nekkee commercial li téeméer bu nekk fukk ak juróom ngay génni bu nekkee ñu fa dëkk nit yi ñu ko luwaas dëkk ak seen njaboot téeméer bu nekk juróom-ñetti dërëm nga génni waaw nga fay loolu nga lii so loolu nga dajale nga ñëw fay jaare so nii la demee.
All right, so like for every residential person renting, the landlord is supposed to pay for every 8%,
which is translates to $8.
Okay, 8%. Yeah.
Yeah, I think I forgot to mention about the residential rent. The residential rent is 8%.
It's 8%.
Yeah, whatever amount is received, 8% of that.
Yeah.
So if you look at the two rates, the residential apartments, they pay lesser tax.
They do.
Yeah, because these are mostly properties that have been occupied by families.
Exactly.
So,
and for the commercial, it's 15.
Yeah, it's 15%, exactly.
Okay, so for every 100, 15%.
15%, yeah.
Mashallah. I think that's clear enough. It's been said by our abled person here in Wolof and in Mandinka. He even went up to explaining which percentage, where I even picked that up from. So thank you for that. Let's get into the next question, which is what are the steps a landlord needs to take to register and stay compliant with the rental income tax? Is there like an online portal, or do they need to visit GRA office physically?
Yeah, I think for now, thank God there's a GRA website. Though all the information they might need might not be there.
Okay.
But we have, I think the GRA as an authority is trying by all means to put all the information available to the people out there. So you can search through the website if you are literate. If at any information that you think you cannot find from the website, you can march to any GRA office closer to you. they will be there to provide you the necessary information. So if there are forms out there, you want to make a declaration, there are returns that you will pick and you make your own declaration. So it's a self-assessment regime until the time we are able to find extra informations that you did not provide. Whatever you submitted, we accept it as at that time.
Okay.
So it is obliged on the landlord to come forward and make their own declaration, because otherwise there are teams that are on the streets going out. So every day in the week, like 4 days in a week, they are outside in the street. They will go to houses and take informations and bring them back to the office. So to avoid all that, if you hear this information from the TV right here or from any other person, the best thing to do is to go yourself to the nearest GRA office and make your declaration. So I think that one is clear.
Yeah, it's clear. Thank you very
Yeah,
much.
su ma mbokki déglukat yi ci wolof laajte nañ ko ne bu ma amee béréb naka laay def ma nekkee borom kër te am luwaas lan laa war a def su ma diggante ak GRA loolu la ko laajte ndax am nañ website wala am nañ fi ñu war a dem pour seet pour mun a fay wala register lu ko ñu lii mooy waaw am nañ website waaye mais bi duñ mun a am yëpp angum léegi ñu ngi ci kawam de ndànka dinañ fa àgg foo xam ne dinañ def online payment filing ak payment yëpp dina ñëw ci kanam du léegi
Masha Allah.
waaye léegi da ngaa dem ci office bu la jegeen domestic tax office bu la jegeen nga dem foofu nga wax sa boppa ñu dimbale la woon la fan nga war a dem nga toog ñu génne form ngeen waxtaan ñu dimbale nga register ñu ubbil la file bu boobaa nag loo am nga ñëw ñu dimbale la nga fill form bi nga calculate ñu calculate la li nga war a fay nga fay bu nekkee commercial nga fay bu nekkee résidentiel nga fay soo léegi bu leen toog parce que li mu ko laajte mooy lan laa mun a def ba lii ñëw leen bi ko loi bi li mu mooy self assessment regime lañ am yow yaa war a ñëw nga wone sa bopp waaw soo bu leen toog foofu rek ngeen di xaar nu wax na ko ne bés bu nekk tamit office moom moo jiitee office boobu rental income tax office bi nekk Kanifing revenue office boori stadium fële waaw ndawam yi dañ dee génn bés bu nekk ñu dem seet ñan ñoo am béréb yoo xam ne dañ ko luwaas te amuñu leen ci suñu gam tax net waaw so nañ collect information boobu ñu dellu si office ñu def enforcement so bu leen toog ngeen xaar ba booba waaw
suñ la waree soo toogee nag parce que Gambien xam naa nuñ mel soo waree toog nag ba loolu ñu GRA ñëw fekk la foofu noonu réalise ni yow yaa ngi joxe tax yaa ngi joxe rent like yaa ngi joxe ñu bari ren waaye mosuloo fay tax.
waaw war na ko fii war na ko ci angale mu ne boo toogee ba lii di nga am interest ak penalty bi mu doon wax ne bu at bi jeexee dañ la dee bàyyi nga jola 3 months nga ñëw nga mun a fayal boo fayalutee dafa mel ni ku daw rek yow am nga properties musuloo fayal oo da nga late a fayal am na interest ak penalty loolu da nga ko war a fay soo dafaa yokk li nga war a fay soo nañ góorgóorlu rek ñu ñëw ci office bi ñu mun a waxtaan ak nuwa wala ndawam yi nañ leen dimbale wala office bu la jege boo nekkee Brikama demal tax office bu nekk Brikama boo nekkee Basse demal bu nekk Basse wala Soma noonu la.
Simple. So, like we need to make sure we keep adhere to this. It's a rule it's a law that's been there since 2012, and now that it's been, inactive. It's been like people, they are here to talk about it because they want to make sure every person is in the know that so long as you give out properties for rental or commercial purpose, you need to pay for the rent. Okay, so no matter what, if you're not being known about or GRA hasn't come to you yet, make sure you take it upon yourself and go. If anything, you will avoid having to pay, penalty charges and interest. So in order to avoid all of that, make sure you go and represent yourself. Make sure you talk about, like he said, it's just like wahtan. Dengan atau wahtan, ngawas sa properties yo am ak nyata nga neka di am si properties. I think it's explanatory enough. You wanna do it in Mandinka?
Mbadi Mandinka ka moilal.
I think Henry is the lead here. Nu anyini gale fana man angale kaundo.
ñin dong mba abe jola nyaade on ninga ñing din kula soto o la nga dula soto mi alon ko mol bi jebe loi so la mbe mu nekela no fa na tara inene mang falo open giare woto na inin giare mole kacha ye fango fo ye fo mol dila ni ma safe no be ma ko le asafe ya fo din kra jalle be bulu ke jalle kani kari o kari ni o kas la nyo kan kari sababe jelle soto la o karo fango jelle soto deni sinela na moju o fanambi na website o bijele bare demando man fo nyato mba adara kan ne purai isaje mol se filing keno je e se joro ke je nyato demanding ni o soto rek mba fulale le koten yo woto akata kana si kadu ni sita fonna mol nata yetara je inada longo ko ranyin sanji jama be luaso kanin kan bari man namo joato ha otabe ata diala de katun luaya fo nyamin luaso sa sambano koma fo kare fo sanji woro bo be jibelale imam min jonu fo sanji woro koma bebe lala nyokane sanyi se lankon lak an ka fo men penalty and interest ibo be jolal oto nay fo kadu luako ite nam jolal nyata kana jari self assessment yena ya fo ñina be mbulu be ñi business wala ñanta kañi namolo ju yo so abe larinten bari ala di nuwal faran katale nuwa marta office o min ka fo rental income tax section o abe kanifin revenue office stadium odala so afanan kala di nuwal bulale ta ka fo mi enforcement eta kibaro ta jamani jamale luas mungol suro amandi mantara ñin namo jokan so yo niyo kibarol fenan ido fanan ka kafunyo kanne den ya calculate be jalle jola
Mashallah, thank you for that.
Okay.
So maybe we go for a short break, okay, so I can give Mr. Henry here some time to breathe. He's been talking for a long time. Okay, so let's go for a short break, and when we get back we'll have someone else and we'll talk some more about all the other questions that we have today with regards to rental income tax. See you in a bit.
Do your banking the smart way with the new Ajib Bank mobile app. Transfer money to any bank account in the Gambia. Top up airtime for all networks. Pay utility bills. Check your account balance and view mini statements. Request for ATM cards. Request for checkbooks and more in a single touch. So, do your banking in a smart way. Do your banking now with Ajib Bank mobile app. Every time is banking time. Ajib Bank, your investment partner. Do your banking the smart way with the new Ajib Bank mobile app. Transfer money to any bank account in the Gambia. Top up airtime for all networks. Pay utility bills. Check your account balance and view mini statements. Request for ATM cards. Request for checkbooks and more in a single touch. So, do your banking in a smart way. Do your banking now with Ajib Bank mobile app. Every time is banking time. Ajib Bank, your investment partner. Do your banking the smart way with the new Ajib Bank mobile app. Transfer money to any bank account in the Gambia. Top up airtime for all networks. Pay utility bills. Check your account balance and view mini statements. Request for ATM cards. Request for checkbooks and more in a single touch. So, do your banking in a smart way. Do your banking now with Ajib Bank mobile app. Every time is banking time. Ajib Bank, your investment partner. Do your banking the smart way with the new Ajib Bank mobile app. Transfer money to any bank account in the Gambia. Top up airtime for all networks. pay utility bills, check your account balance and view mini statements, request for ATM cards, request for checkbooks, and more in a single touch. So, do your banking in a smart way. Do your banking now with Ajibank mobile app. Every time is banking time. Ajibank, your investment partner.
Okay, so this is the second edition of the Soffia Magazine Show, and today we are having the GRE Hour, talking about specifically rental income tax. If you were just joining us, it was quite an interesting one. The first half of the show, we talked about who is meant to pay it and when the tax was implied, why people are supposed to pay for it now, and what is expected of you if you're a landlord who's running a both resident or commercial property. Come on board, make sure you register all these properties you have. Togal nga waxtaan ak suñ waa GRE, and they will make sure they show you the way and everything will be sorted. Do not sit in your houses until they find you there, because when they do, then it gets really bad and there's no balal and mahoma, because they're making this effort coming all the way to these platforms to make sure you're educated, you're informed as to why you're supposed to do it, and making sure you know the reason, the implications as to why you don't do it. Okay, so we're going to continue with the other questions. Many landlords, especially the ones in the informal settings, they believe rental income tax is either unfair or avoidable. They are the ones I'm talking about, basically. Those that would sit and be like, it's not like they're going to know that I'm running this until the day GRA officially comes and visit them. Okay, so how does GRA address these perceptions, and what message do you have for them?
Yeah, thank you, Aisa, for that question. I think what you said is something that we come across on a daily basis. Yeah, some people tend to think when you don't come and report yourself, GRA doesn't have the means to reach wherever you are.
Yeah.
And that is the essence of these field teams that we have. We have staffs that, all their time is dedicated to going outside the street, going inside houses. So they might come across you one day, you wouldn't know. Because it's not like we go in on the media and say, this area is where we're going to. So surprisingly, one day you might be caught. So, and when you are caught, the penalty might be severe. And also, looking at since the period you started renting out, you might be assessed backlogs. So that might not look good for you. So the best thing to do is to come forward and declare your taxes, and you make life easier for yourself. And also, we have to remember, paying tax as a citizen is also a responsibility on everyone as a good citizen. You cannot be in the country not paying taxes and you want to have things right.
Exactly.
That
Low
will
government.
be
in the
difficult.
meantime, they're not doing anything.
It's high time we ask ourselves, what are we doing? What are we contributing?
Exactly.
Yeah.
So it's equally important.
Yeah, I think to add on to that is, if you escape now, one day you
99 days for the thing.
when you
One
want now to use your property for something else, and now they ask for all the documents, especially you want to lease it or you want to develop it further, you want building plans, you'll be asked to go back to GRA for one or two things. Or go to area council, they say, go to GRA, have you been paying your A, B, and C? Or you're an importer, and now you come and you want to be given preferential treatment like direct delivery. They will check, have you been paying taxes before?
Yeah, because these are where you can also get that privilege.
Yes, and also it is also expanded. Sometimes you apply for visa, your child is going to study, somebody is traveling, they said, go and bring your tax clearance, or go and bring your parents' tax clearance.
Good.
And then the problem comes.
Because you've probably never been paying, so.
Yes. or somebody is standing for an office and wants tax clearance from Noah's office, then becomes a problem.
So these are all areas that GRA will look into.
Yes.
Yeah,
So it's good.
and the other thing is, sometimes you're dealing with tenants. Those tenants, in fact, expose you to GRA and you wouldn't know. Like you're renting a property to a business. Those businesses also have tax obligations. By end of year, they file tax returns.
Yes.
So on the tax returns, the law allows them to claim the expenses that they incur during the year. So one key among them is the rent. So they will put in the form, I pay this amount of rent, and to who, your name and your telephone numbers will be stated. So some of them, they are surprised when my people in the office just called them and said, are you Mr. So, this is the information we have for you. Can you come to the office? So they'll come and be like, where did you get my number from?
We will never tell you.
So this shows that we have different ways of dealing with this.
So you're never exempted.
Yeah, we have different ways.
You escape.
You definitely build a house, you want to give it to businesses, but that's where you earn more money. So those businesses is also their right to return, to file the tax returns and submit.
They want to become
so those informations are with GRA, whether you know it or not.
Okay, so I'm going to let Mr. Henry just go ahead and explain that in Wolof. That is like for the stubborn landlords, those that think that like in the informal setting, those that think they can actually get away with not paying for their rental tax. What message do you have for them, and what is GRA doing in order to get them?
ñi déglu ci Wolof. léegi laajte nañ Noa ñoo xam ne ñu fa toog di xaar ne waaw duñ ma jàppa ban message lañ leen amal mooy kaay nga wasa bopp ñu dimbale la nga fay naamo parce que bés bu ñu la téyee at yi jàlla yëpp di nga ko fay yu romba yëpp di nga ko fay ba pare di nga fay interest ak penalty mun nañ laa téye ci fànn yu bëri mun nga bugg a taxaw wala sa doom bugg a taxaw pour politics ñu ne ko demal indi sa clearance bu ñëwee nag dañuy waxtaan ak yow seet lan ak lan nga daan def ndax mus ngaa fay naam wala musuloo fay buñ cekkee sa tur nekku ci suñ système sa tin number nekku fa dinañ xam mun ngaa nekk nag importer yaa ngi yore properties ngay luwaas benn bés nag nga am li nga import nag ñu nga bugg ak ñu defal la direct delivery ñu check ndax dang daan fay nañ check custom check domestic taxes naa dang daan fay sa naamo yi ci waat mun naa am tamit nga am doom buy tukki ñu ne ko mu dem uti visa wala fi mu war a dem dëkk bi ne ko dañ bugg a gis sa tax clearance boo nekk te di liggéey tax clearance sa yaay wala sa baay lañ bugg a gis foofu tam dinañ la téye mun nañ dem round gaayam yi dañ dee dem ñu ñëw gis sa kër bin jël information indi wala ñi nga jox béréb bi ñu koy def business kaay ñoom tam bu ñuy fill form pour fay seen naamo wala seen lempo dañ dee binda lii laa fay luwaas lii laa fay lii laa jë cash power lii laa jënd ndax lii laa fay lañ ko dee mun a génne balaa ñu am seen profit so boo ne dama dee fay luwaas dañ la dee ne ci kan nga koy fay naka la tuddal lan mooy nombaam ak yeneen saa ñu lay teel sa tiin nombaam da nga ko war a def sa tiin ak bosam bu ñu amee loolu nag ba pare ndawam yi dinañ oo waa ji ñu ne ko kaay borom kër gi ñu ne ko kaay dañ la soxla jiyaari boo ñëwee ñu ne la yaa ngi yore place yi nga luwaas waaye doo loo di fay bu boobaa nag dinañ ceeg at yu romba yëpp nañ ko calculer nga fay interest ak penalty so balaa boobu nag génn si leen ngeen ñëw waxtaan boo mënutee fay bu nekkee ne at yu bëri la noi ñoom dañ dee def payment plan dinañ la dimbale ngeen waxtaan ci loolu ñu dimbale nag ñu ngeen bind naka nga mun a fay waaw so ngeen góorgóorlu rek ngeen génn si
mashallah ado man ka kama fananto kom nga fonya benoro ni va explain la no
yo sa bari maniga kam moy lal ye nuañi ni ka fanan ko momi alon ko man na buka luwaso fenke dolbe sotola no ñaadile e buka ni namo ñin jo yo siri ka foyte jela te mutala awa min folo fa wolem alam di ñol ka fundile ta jibe momu kilinet fula ñawo ya dim el la dula luwas minul ka nya ni ka business wala keji e fanan ka namo jole na tara bank le bije o bank wala magazine wala bije o store afanan ka namo jole na kana jo aka safele nka luwaso jole sa fomu ba ni ka la ka jo jamale muna atom munati ala number anala tin na obe safe woto te sañing ila kuwol funtita bantan wo bata jolala ita itolu ite kilie na ya fo ibe dula kare le ñing bungol le soto ye luas bare bu kana jare ka wona mojo yo so do fanam biye iselaf ka ke politique kalo election no wala dingo asalafi kalo isa fayel namo sani a kiskisi aje ko atol bu kana mojo oto etete lola no mosel la fino fana ka visa ñini o ka tama kata si banta to abangol to ke ñini kale fo kana ibe botana ndami kana mo jole bang ni ka jol lafta ka clearance o ñingi so ni na dan dole afana ka cha ñing to mbalo dal fo ka jo ka to mbuka dila wonyam andi ni ngi muta woto min be tambita iba jolale andi be interest in penalty jol so jani be sila fo nge taraje woto funti ina nga kacha isaje ngalo laño nam kanila ni nam jolalen terolti be mo banku do kulal alkamin jo wala kata banku do ko yo so nganyine soto ngamin kacha folo angale kamoto isa isa fana so ko den kay tende
nga ñinin kara do kete ke ko tan okay so lafta meaning kala sorry mbafum para nga try men ka kamoto
okay
say yalong ni renta ni landlord do is there like a monitoring system that you have for those that are paying and would suddenly stop? Is there, apart from the fuel agents, are they the ones responsible for this monitoring, or do you have like another way that you monitor these landlords that don't want to be compliant?
Yeah,
like somebody come now, pay, then you will not see him again.
Yeah, something like that.
Yeah, the moment you pay once in our system, there's a file that is built for you.
Okay.
So those files within the office, officers are responsible for them. And those files are regularly reviewed. Yeah, regularly reviewed. So
to ensure that compliance.
I think a time will come is digitalized.
Officers that are responsible for managing files. We call it the block system.
Oh.
So every officer is entitled to a certain number of files. So it's their duty to be reviewing it every time. So sometimes even for them, when they are due dates, when their payments are due, those officers will call them over the phone and remind them and tell them, you're supposed to do this with us. So I hope you didn't forget. And some of them, they appreciate it. Yeah, actually some they tend to forget. Yeah, that's happening.
Okay, so some tend to forget. So a reminder from the callers would make them remember.
We do follow up.
Yeah, because human beings are not perfect. I'm glad there is that. So back to you. Ma continue parce que nga ngi ka laftalu na monitoring iba fola no nyame manika ko I realize munuma so I just continued in my English.
Okay. I know ngi ga natara mo ka jonu atata sanji killing ofula amanna ko tenge ay joro ke sanji killing sanji fula par sa amanna ko tenge yo no mi fa na mu system be nyame wolem dula din ka jibele officer dula dila ka fo mi block misal fe mbe damin jang star tv be ma fo milna ise o block o bungol min bebe jam ma fo isa di mo clean ya jibe fana bakaw kono to jana ya di dola e do fana jibe serakunda marché to ya di dola so ka fo le block system so officer nying atela do ko min di file min ba ko to min ba ala tableau to ainda ke jibe jamala ya jo jamala ma jo so ke kilile ke hakili bulandi kadu modol ka nyinale do sa tamano be banta anata nyinata kol se siano biseso to amari se nyinano adama dingo mantima so ke kilile ya fo ikana nu ne bare nyinu wal meje ando wato aussi tele nyaadi len dol ka fola barka bak denisina ya jo so dol fongo kata jele ni kilime so to sitala dinkirado ke jibe moneketa yo sa maybe nyaado demanding o system of abebe tala system ko non ni ma jo fang system of flag la ko karimanna denisa fem
okay yeah
in digital system on ni go no aba kachala maybe next program on
inshallah like I think that one will be what we'll be talking about next time.
Yes.
Definitely the digital bit of this whole thing.
Yeah.
Okay, so are there like fixed interest charges for the landlords who deliberately fail to pay, like exempt themselves from paying this, decide that they are not going to pay? Are there fixed charges for this? Because
No,
I heard him say interest, but I don't know.
Yeah. We have these we charge interest. Interest is daily.
Oh, okay.
Every day that you are late for, the interest will be checked based on the number of days you are late. So every tax payment has a due date. When that due date pass, so we start counting days. So all the number of days you late for, you will be charged interest according to that. For the penalty, every month 5%. Every month 5%, up to a maximum of 25%. So which means even if you are late for a year, we can only apply 25% as maximum. But imagine 25% of what you're supposed to pay. That's a lot of money.
It's a lot of money.
So to avoid all that, it's better to come at the right time to save that.
And the interest is at bank rate.
Yeah, we use the central bank rate. Yeah.
Central bank rate.
Wow.
Okay.
So I think it's better you stick to your 8% or 15% than having to pay a whole 25% from your revenue of the one you're getting from the rent. All this because you decided I'm not going to pay. My Gambian people, please. I hope you're a landlord, you're sitting somewhere and you're watching this, because the show is also repeated often. GRA is here to let you know that rental income tax is something that's going to be implied. It's going to be something that they will be practicing from now on. I mean, it's been there since 2012 according to the law, but now they're making sure they let you know of your responsibility. It's your responsibility to make sure you pay your taxes. So you see to it that it's paid for, and you make sure you don't sit until it's late, because when you're caught and it's because you decided to exempt yourself and you thought you escaped, there are fixed charges. The 5% he mentioned, and it goes all the way to 25%. Imagine paying an 8% for resident, or like a normal 15% for commercial. Now you're going to pay 20%.
On top of that.
Okay, see, this 25%.
15% will be calculated and put aside that amount.
25% of that.
25% of that is what
oh my God, that is a lot.
So it's a lot of money.
Okay.
I also just wanted to add before we move to the local languages, we also have a fully fledged legal department.
Oh, okay.
If you refuse completely to pay, then the file will be passed up, and then it goes to the Commissioner General. Then you will ask the legal department to prosecute.
That you have to pay for lawyers, you have to pay for extra. Everything will require.
When we win it, then the cost of litigation will be paid.
Everything will be paid.
Yes.
All right. So before we get into talking in Mandinka and Wolof, there's someone who sent a question saying, interesting program. My question is, even if you have a single compound and you're renting it, you must pay tax, right?
Yeah, tax is for everybody. No matter how small your income is, just come forward and make your declaration.
If it's just one compound, so long as there is a tenant in it that is giving you revenue, you have to pay tax. That kind of tax is where you pay like 8%, right? It's not much.
For residential,
yeah, so.
Yeah, I also want to ask so that we clarify, because let me trouble the Sarahules and the Badibunkas more. Because you collect the rent. No, I will not agree. You collect the rent, and then you say I'm doing maintenance, and then the balance I pay. No, I will not agree. The Lord also agree. No, I will explain that more.
Okay.
So tell the Sarahules and Badibunkas that you cannot collect the money.
Yeah,
and then you use it for maintenance, and then you say this is the balance. No.
And that's basically most of the time issues they will raise when they come to the office.
Okay.
They will say, I have spent a lot of money in maintenance in this building, or even building. So why is it that GRA will start taxing me when I
because
just
you're
build
making
this
money from it.
So exactly. So what they don't understand is, in our law, in our tax law, there is the deductions on rental income are not allowable. So you're not supposed to deduct anything from what you receive.
Okay.
Yeah.
So I'm sure you hear that, right? Some people are asking other questions. I think someone doesn't know where GRA offices are located. Yeah. So I don't know if you can mention some of our branches around this end. Okay.
Yeah,
so because someone is saying, where is your office located?
Yeah, for the purpose of that question, I think in Combo here, in Banjul, there is a main office. In Kanifing, there is an office at Kanifing, layout, I would say.
Around the stadium?
Yeah, around the stadium, just almost opposite the mosque. Yeah, the mosque, yeah. And also in Serekunda, we call it, is it Babu Fati or Johnson?
Serekunda, there's a
O.J. Johnson.
O.J. Johnson. There is a
O.J.
building
Johnson,
there that houses the two offices,
Yeah, Talending
Serekunda and
and
Talending
Talending,
offices.
Okay.
In Brusubi too, just after Kebekunda, there is a GRA office there too.
Okay.
Yeah, in Drikama too, there is one.
Yes,
even in Wellingara.
Brikama after Gambia College.
Even in
Wellingara.
Wellingara, almost opposite the Wellingara police, there is a GRA office. So that one, I think, in the provinces too, every region there is at least 1 or 2 offices. In Bara there is an office for North Bank. In Farafenye there is an office. So in Basse there is office. There is CRL office is in Brikama. So all those offices are created to provide accessibility, to make it easy.
Okay.
So-
I have just received another question from a friend. He's saying that, so what if he has like a compound that he doesn't normally receive, like a compound that is renting, but he doesn't get people who are in there all the time because he pays, is an inn. I think he explained that as an inn. He said he doesn't always have tenants there because when they come, they spend a day or two and they're gone. How does that?
No,
how does-
those categories doesn't fall under the rental income.
Okay.
But equally, it's a business.
It is a
He's
business.
supposed to take care of the tax aspect, not actually rental income. But it's better for him to go and register himself and open a file with GRA. So any income that is derived, there is a way to tax it out. It doesn't fall under the rental. When it is like a guest house or an inn, it doesn't fall under the rental income category, but
Okay.
it falls under the business
Okay.
category.
All right.
I think if I can pick the sense out of this, some people have houses, and these semesters come, they rent for a week or 2 and leave. But it's like it's my resident, but I'm not there. But I let it out when I have people. I don't know.
No, most of those falls under the guest houses.
Business. Okay, guest house.
The guest
Falls under
houses.
the guest houses, yeah.
Then they need to come and register as a guest house.
Guest house, yeah.
Okay. So there is like a tax for every
Yeah,
specific
every
area.
specific
So
area.
guest house, inns, and I think they don't
Guest
fall under
houses,
the,
inns, even hotels, they don't fall under the rental income,
Oh, okay.
but it falls under the business.
We're coming
category.
towards the end of the show. I don't know. I know that you have something that you needed to say in Mandinka and Wolof. That is with regards to the kind of implication the landlords have if they're supposed to face when they decide to exempt themselves from paying the tax. Okay,
Yeah,
when they're called the fixed charges and the penalty fees.
Okay. Sanyinga aisa nwani nikanu. Sanite mu landlord wala labe bulani ko ye bankar ko eta jola. Muna bekela o isita fo nata ngeje muna be jola nwa min fa wala interest e ko jibe lumolu nin jude tambita rek jude dolem natara karo karle ka jo ni karo fata kabo tilifolo fa tilitane lulu kar kuto ni man na ye joroke na tambita woto lumolum be interest calculator at central bank rate penalty nying kari wo kari 5% na bitawle nyama fo
25.
kemo sidula tani moni lulu so mimbe ila inyata ka minjo ibo landi la karala den ye nying moni lulo fanan jibe ya la kan ya jo
Okay.
wala ni bang iman so ka ke woto be sambala luwa nyatri wala
Avarka. Ngaloneko, like I wish there was more time, but I promise we'll be here next week for us to deliberate some more on this specific question that was thrown to Mr. Mane here, and he was translating. He'll definitely finish translating it next week, I promise you. And because we have come to the end of the show, is there any last thing you want to say, last comment you want to make to the...
Yeah, just to thank the viewers out there for the time that they dedicated to watch this program, and also to our management for giving us this opportunity. It is always part of their objective to make sure people are educated, people are informed of what they need to do when it comes to taxes. So the pleasure is ours to be here to represent them. So we are saying thank you to them and every one of you out there watching.
Henry?
ala barka bake ale alla wato tanyam ke la moy kan jibe ale nyini karo fananke inshallah do kunnala ni wato kotenke mbetar la janne
Inshallah.
Kacha.
We'll be here next week and we'll talk some more about this. In the meantime, thank you so much, audience, and thank you for the questions. I will make sure they are like I asked all the other questions. Is GRA our next week again? So definitely we'll discuss all these things. We'll make sure it's in the clear. Everybody is in the know of what they are here to let everybody know, okay? In the meantime, thank you so much once again. Thank you, cameraman and team Yamunda J. Thank you for the hustling that we have to make you go through, for the trouble that we're giving you. And thank you once again. See you guys next week Wednesday. Stay tuned.